Welcome back to the program. Joining me now, the very first guest on my very first television program 25 years ago, Lunsford Bridges, former CEO of Metropolitan National Bank. You were in banking for 50 years?
That's right.
Wow, you started when you were what, 13?
Well, I started that as a summer job, but no, I started it in '63.
Wow.
And 1963. We have to get the century correct. And finished in 2013.
Wow, well, we were finishing up our 25th season of Talk Business and Politics. You were there in the very beginning. You were a supporter as an advertiser on the program, and you did come on in that first year, and you came on our very first show and put your money where your mouth was in terms of helping us launch.
I was pretty good at picking winners, and that I'm proud of with you.
Yeah. I was trying to think, we used to tape not in a nice studio like this one right here. We had a conference room in downtown North Little Rock that we had some studio lights in, and that was our very first set. I was trying to think of what we talked about on that first television show, and
Don't ask me.
I would think that we would have been discussing the current state of banking, because there would have been a lot to talk about at that time in 1999 there. But do you keep up with what's still going on in the current state of banking, or now that you're out of it, do you just kind of let it go?
Well, it's a happy medium, and I try to keep up with some of it. Some of it is very frustrating to me to see the changes that are made, but some of them certainly are for the better. But it's gotten no easier. Banking has, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's difficult now.
Well, and you would have wished for this when you were in banking. Now you have a former banker, French Hill, the congressman from the 2nd District, is going to be the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. That might mean some changes that would be positive for bankers in this day and age.
We would hope so. If they keep the right track and do the right thing relative to the regulators. You don't want to see fewer regulators. Maybe a few, some fewer regulations,
yeah,
but not regulators.
Gotcha. Tell everybody just kind of how you got your start in banking, because you and I have talked about it a little bit before, but I think there's plenty of people that don't know how you kind of fell into banking. You could have been a lawyer like the rest of your family, but you saw the light and went in a different direction.
Oh, I did. My father tried to slip me into pre-law in school, and I avoided it. But back in the summers, I started my first summer job when I was about 13, and then had the opportunity to work at National Bank of Commerce in Pine Bluff for 3 summers, and then kind of got the taste of it, liked it, and when I graduated college in 1963, I had an offer from the bank to come to work.
Yeah.
I did, and this was all in Pine Bluff, where I lived at the time, born and raised there. And then was there for about 20 years in banking there and 30 up here.
Yeah. What did you do in those summers when you were a younger man? What did you do at the banks for your summer jobs there?
It was nothing that would impact the
You were taking out the trash, and you were
filing canceled checks.
Yeah.
Kind of a hey boy. You know, when they needed a little something done, but there was always work to be done, so it was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What did you do when you got out of college and you went into banking there? I would assume that you were more than a hey boy at that point in time. So
went into a training program, certainly, then was moved from department to department to get a lay of the land as to how the departments interacted and the functions and the different services that a bank would offer. it was a great learning experience.
Yeah. They were grooming you for CEO potential, weren't they?
Well, they didn't know it at the time, but and I sure didn't.
So you've been retired for, do you know how many years you've been?
10 years.
10 years. Yeah, I mean, you're not keeping account or clocking it or anything like that, so.
Well, it just so happens you can remember the end of a period, but it's been a fun 10 years.
Yeah. Tell me what you've been doing in retirement.
A whole lot more want tos than have tos, and when and if you want to do them. But really, I have found that they always tell you to have a hobby when you're going to retire. Well, my hobby is woodworking.
You're a great woodworker too. I've seen some of your stuff and it's fantastic. So.
I enjoy it, but I've had good teachers as a woodworker. But that gives me an opportunity. I have made some new friends and got new relationships that have been a joy to me. And something that's so important, in my opinion, in retirement are the relationships. Yeah. Even probably more important than a hobby. So we go to lunch, we have other things that we do together.
Is this a woodworking club?
Well, there is a club, but this is all, it's kind of built around a wood store in North Little Rock. Les Steen has a hardwood store. He sells wood to woodworkers. And there's a group of 5 or 6 of us that hang out over there. He's only open 2 half days a week. So when we get to help him and his customers, and we've got a great small group of friends that hang out there.
All right. Well, I want to come crash the party sometime, so you'll
please do.
You'll let me do that. All right. He's Lunsford Bridges. He was the very first guest on the very first Talk Business and Politics television show 25 years ago. Thank you so much, Lunsford. Good to see you.
My pleasure.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
And best of continued luck to you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're back with more right after this.